High five! Hello guys, welcome to another episode of WeMigreat. So in this episode, we have a great pleasure to welcome our dearest friends, Shuyang and Jeremy. Could you guys give us a short introduction about yourselves?
Sure, my name is Shuyang. I was born and raised in China, and after my high school, I came to France for a dual degree program between Sciences Po Paris and University of British Columbia in Canada. After that, I came back to Paris to do my master's degree at Sciences Po Paris in finance. In terms of internship experience, I had two internship experiences in France. First one was during my gap year after my year one of master's. That was in a French boutique investment bank. And then currently I'm doing my graduation internship at a VC fund in Paris.
Thanks for sharing. It's great to have you. What about Jeremy?
Hello, my name is Jeremy. I was born and raised in Hong Kong. Just like Shuyang, previously I also studied in Le Havre, and I'm now a master's student in international management and sustainability. Previously, I worked 1 year full-time at an international bank, but I also summer interned at the United Nations before as well.
I would say the network of Sciences definitely helped in my job searching process. I had two internships in France, in Paris, and these are all thanks to my Sciences network. So my classmate and my friend at Sciences passed on their positions to me after finishing their internships. And my current manager is also from Sciences class of 2016.
I completely agree with Shuyang. I think our school is a good famous school in French-speaking countries. So because of the connection, we have many partnerships with companies and they offer us many career fairs. And because of these career fairs and our professors, I also had a chance to get to interview with many companies. And I think that it's also very important to be proactive in your career search.
Yeah, so that also relates to networking. In France, I've heard people saying that 80% of the jobs are hidden, which means that they are not actually advertised on job websites like LinkedIn. So it's really important of not only what you know, but also who you know. So how do you guys get connections or recommendations from the people around you? Do you have any tips?
In my case, I would offer two tips. The first one I think is be honest and be direct. So I once received this interview invitation from a French boutique investment bank, and then I just went on LinkedIn and looked for their current intern and asked, like I have this interview coming up tomorrow, and I'm really interested in this company. You have 15 minutes to call with me. And I think being honest or direct really helps when you want to like encourage the other person to help you. And secondly, I think it's also very important to show the other person that you're like 1 or 2 steps away from success, and their help would be like a really value added. Like in my case, I only contact people after receiving the interviews. So in this case, I'm not wasting their time because I have already progressed in the process.
I agree with Shuyang. I think the goal of networking is not to immediately get a job or an internship, but to just talk to people, get to know the company, and to understand what they're looking for and whether you fit in that company. I like talking to people in general, so I think networking is a great opportunity for me.
Yeah, but what if you don't really speak like perfect French? Do you think this is a big barrier for them to network with people? Like we didn't speak perfect French when we were networking, right? So what is your tips to network with French people in that case?
I think two tips. First, put down your shame. Put down your like don't mind. Don't even think about how you lose your face or embarrass yourself. At least you're like giving it a shot to push yourself to speak French. That's already very courageous for a foreigner. I don't think any French people would say, "Oh, you speak shitty French." I think that would be very arrogant. And secondly, I think you can always switch to English when you feel that there's such need, because in the end, language is just a tool of communication. So you shouldn't make language a barrier. You should make it a tool.
I really agree on that.
I agree. I think the key is just to show that you make an effort. A bonjour here, a merci there. It's very good for French people to hear. So when you're networking, even if your French is not perfect, just try to make an effort to listen and to speak a little bit. That would be great.
The
Yes,
attitude
and
is really
pronounce the names right.
yeah. Okay, thank you guys. That's a really practical advice. Well, do you guys actually remember how many interviews have you done? Like,
Wow, so many I cannot really remember.
well,
There are many rounds of interviews that can last up to a few months. Very often, larger companies will have longer processes.
I've heard stories of people at Sanspol going through like 18 rounds of interviews to get into a French bank. But personally, I have not had that experience.
let's talk about culture. As foreigners, do you feel that you guys are putting a lot of effort in adapting to French culture? It's a very hard process for you guys.
I think the French working culture is very unique. It's very different from what we're used to and very different from the Anglo-Saxon working culture. So you have to be very flexible and adapt to this new way of working style. You can see it as a challenge. While I'm working in French or doing an interview with a French company, sometimes employers may assume that you understand the French culture very well or the company very well, and it takes time to adapt.
Well, I personally feel that a big part of French culture is about assimilation. It's about integration. That's a very good part. It's a very good part. But at the same time, I feel that maybe as foreigners, I personally feel pressure of adapting to it sometimes. But after several years of experience here, what I told myself is that I'm also very proud of my own identity and my own culture. So sometimes you really need to pay efforts to like balance between like who the society want you to be and who you
Mhm.
really want to be.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I think so. I think in my previous experience, I've always felt like I have to give up my own identity as a foreigner, but rather considering myself as one of them, as someone who's really infused in French culture. But actually, I only felt frustrated because I paid so much effort, but in the end, I was like not doing very well. So I pushed myself to have lunch with my co-interns, although I couldn't really mix in the conversation. And with the seniors, my strategy was to always wait in the kitchen and trying to have a conversation with them when they arrive at the office. And actually, in the end, I was a bit exhausted, but I didn't regret making all those efforts.
Resonate so much with my own experience as well. Yeah. But I mean, that takes time, right? It's a process. It's a process of understanding this society as well. Yeah. So talking about adapting to it, how do you guys socialize with your colleagues and seniors when you are working with French people in the school and at work?
Um, First, don't be too personal. Just be very safe at the beginning, like talk about some general topics. If we like Paris, how is life, how is the vacation, but don't get into any personal topics. And second, I think try to communicate more, try to see them as a teammate rather than like a superior person.
Well, I think it's important to find something in common with the person that you're speaking to. So if they have a similar foreign traveling experience, you can talk about that. If they love a certain food, you can talk about that and also arrange going to a restaurant together. Sometimes during some holidays, you can also give them some gifts as well to show that you appreciate their friendship.
Yeah, but talking about gifting, I think it's very different from Asian culture. You know, in Asian culture, it happens that like your superior, like your boss, are expecting some big gifts from you. But in France, I feel that it would be a pressure. It may have counter effect if you give a big gift for someone. They might misunderstand your message. Sometimes you just be kind, right? That's something that you need to calculate.
I think like even giving chocolate would make them worry about, oh, if others have this, or like are you only giving this to me? So I think it's just nice to give some little gifts where you can which you can give to almost everyone in the office rather than one big gift to someone, which cause a lot of pressure.
I agree. Probably it's croissant in the morning, the chocolates, or even a smile, right?
Now you make me want to eat chocolates.
Oh, actually, also French people suffer from some bad assumptions of their working habits. So many people assume that French people are somehow not hardworking enough. It's like was shown in the series Emily in Paris. So how do you guys see that? Does it happen in your life?
I think sometimes it's just appearance. French people may look like they are very arrogant and they don't smile very much. But I think that French people enjoy a good work-life balance. They take their time to relax, but just because they take their time to relax doesn't mean that they're not productive in their work.
That's true.
So I think in my industry is more particular because in finance industry, no matter where you are around the world, people are always overworking. It's like a norm in the industry. So here it's not exceptional. My two experiences so far, I haven't seen anybody who doesn't overwork.
Next question. How do you prioritize the following factors? So salary, location, industry, and responsibilities.
Is that the only four? Because I think there's also company culture or career progression.
Okay.
If I have to choose between these four, I think I would choose industry and responsibility being more important and salary and location to be less important because I'm still young and I still want to learn a lot.
I think for me, if the industry is what I want to be in, then it doesn't matter the responsibility. But if the responsibility is good enough or very fulfilling for me, it doesn't matter which industry I am in. So for industry and responsibility, I only need one that's satisfactory, and then it'd be the salary, and then in the end, it'd be the location. I don't mind discovering other amazing culture.
So you do not prioritizing working in France or working in Paris in your future career.
It doesn't matter to me.
I see. And do you see going back to your home country as an open option for you guys?
Yes, for me it's possible, but I need to make sure that it's a healthy working culture. It's not like 996 because I'm not sure if I can do that.
For 996, consult our former episode. We did a little illustration on that.
I think I want to stay in Europe and maybe the Francophone countries more because I built my life here and I studied here. So I will try my best to stay here.
Good luck with that. We hope that we can find what we want. So good luck on the job researching for all of us and all of you guys. High five! Okay, thank you guys for watching this episode and please like and comment below. See you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye!
Bye-bye.
Wow.
That sounds great.